Hello and welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for November and December 2020. I am your reader, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, son of a Cancerian mother, the archangel of Lyons, Markangelo Lyons. Yeah, she named me, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my crab cakes. How you doing? Oh my God, I love my Cancerians so much. I've always had one in my life from birth. I've always had a Cancerian woman in my life in one way or another. Lifetime case of crabs, and I'm glad for it. Yeah. Nothing to quell there. That's obscure. Anyway, my subscribers, thank you so much for your nurturing love and support of my channel. Watching it grow through its stages, right? We're almost at 2,000, but we're shooting for 30,000 so that we can have fun with the membership function. Oh my God, the join button, we're gonna have so much fun, right? Members only content. I'm sort of built for that, I'm gonna say about myself. Yeah. Particularly in my work, career, and vocation. So we'll get down to that in a minute, but I wanna say too, if you're new to my channel, or if you've been watching, please consider, like all I'm asking, I don't, mommy dearest references are hardwired in me. If it clicks, hit the thumbs up. Like if you get something from it, just, oh, that was good, like ding, right? And if you like my style and you like how I work and you want more, subscribe, right? Comment, share, all the YouTube-y stuff. I'll remind you again at the end, like I'm a Virgo, raised by a Cancerian woman. I got my checklists. So let's get down to business with this read, shall we? It is 9 cards, 3 different decks. Carolyn Myss Archetype cards, 3 of those, 3 Daughters of the Moon, 3 Mythic Tarot about your 3 levels of power in terms of life, purpose, service, work, career, vocation. Work is the lower 3 chakras, the literal physical world. It's what you do to survive in this world in all sorts of different ways. Maybe you get paid for your work, maybe you don't. I don't. As work, I am president and administrator. I don't get paid a dime, right, doing that particular work. It's administrative, right? And I was a minister as well, right? So you get the connection there, at least linguistically. Heart, third eye, and crown, that's your career, that's your passion, that's your emotional thirst, mental hunger, right? So part of the hero's journey in our lives, right? What really lights us up and moves us forward inside, right? The psychological world, the personal world. And then there's the 8th chakra, the calling, your vocation, right? What is your spiritual thing calling you forward, right? The star that you are aligned with. And then bringing work, career, and vocation into alignment with each other, understanding the powers that are being developed in each one's archetypally. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at how you're experiencing it internally in the yin with the divine feminine, Daughters of the Moon, and a black cat out of nowhere. Hey, booger, lay down, lay down. Oh, head bonk, I love you. Go lay down, lay down. You lay down right there. That's what that chair is there for, because he's the baby. Mythic Tarot, what it's looking like on the outside. Motherhood. Oh, I have to go away for 3 days. I'm going to Saratoga to see my family and see the new little kitten my mom got, who's technically my little brother. Funny point. Himalayan kitten named Giovanni Jojo. Put him on my head. Wear like a mohawk for as long as he'll sit still. Snap it back here. Follow me on Instagram. Markangelo Lyons. Oh God. So yeah, let's get down to work, career, vocation. So again, this is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Follow your breath. I find that to be the wisest thing for anything in life, but particularly readings, right? The mind will take you away in interpretation. But what's going on in your water, right? In your emotions, in your physical body, right? The response and reactions of what's coming through in the reading. You ready? Let's do this. All the decks I read are in the description box below. I think I covered everything. You gotta do the exposition. Here we go. Breathe. Yes, and indeed, here we go. That felt really nice. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 3 cards. I'll take them face down. Work, career, vocation for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in November, December 2020. Please, first 3 chakras work. Dominant power being alchemized, career, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Is that 1 or 2? That's 1. We'll take that one. Personal level of power, career, and for their vocation, that 8th chakra way up on top. What's being alchemized there? Now, it is true that any of these could be you, could be someone you're dealing with in your work, career, vocation, and overall situation. Any of those, all of those, right? Only you can interpret that. And that's why the mind will talk you into and out of anything, what's really going on in your energy field. So positive or negative, light and gold, light and shadow, here's what you got in your work, career, vocation. Well, it looks like I got a professional witch here because it's the witch card. And you can see there's not quite the same graphics because this is one of the blank cards that I filled in myself, right? The shadow and the light of the witch attributes I could talk about forever and have. The soul power of the witch, to me, it's got a foot in many different archetypal families, ultimately the wisdom family, which being a wise person, and essentially the shadow and the light is what do you do with what you know, right? That you might have gotten perhaps through the divine family, right? You're gonna have a toe in the divine family or maybe a whole leg, right? Depending on the witch itself, right? Now, this does not mean you have to be a witch, but there's something about shifting things, about working with the elements involved, fire, earth, air, water, spirit, or symbolically otherwise, manifestation, in terms of a work. Like, I consider myself a working witch. Like, I do prayers and magic and spells and all day long, but it's part of my work. It's necessary. Look what I do for a living. Please, what would I do without the magic jewelry doing this? Oh my God, I'd be an empathic clusterfuck. Pisces moon. See, Virgo, cross your legs, Virgo. Well, we'll get there. I mean, I could go so into depth with that, even with less words written on it than any other card in this deck. In your interior world, this is going to trigger you. This is going to trigger you, but here it is a wild family archetype. It's that 9th family of archetype that just, it doesn't fit in any of the other ones, so it goes in this one. And it is triggering as fuck. You got the slave archetype. Now, again, I'm going to interpret this intuitively for the people who are watching this, but there are definitely different groups. Some people are just slaves to their career. Now, there's a light side of that and a shadow side of that. Let us not forget. Let me read it, get it out of the way. The shadow attribute, giving your willpower, throat chakra, to an external authority, lower 3 chakras, out of fear of making your own choices. Throat chakra stuff, willpower, choice, decision. And notice I'm clearing my throat since this reading began. This could be you, this could be someone else you're dealing with, or do you feel a slave to your career, to a corporation, right? It's like, oh, they're going to do what they're going to do. But the light attribute here, you're in good company if this is you. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, right? That's the slave that alchemizes into the master. I mean Jesus, I mean Buddha, I mean Gandhi, I mean Confucius, I mean Muhammad, I mean, right? They were slaves to God, to the divine. It's more prevalent than you think. In terms, yeah, I just had to surrender my willpower to the divine because the camera glitched, whatever. Who knows why that happens? I need to have a bottle of water on the table, and I don't right now. Next reading. So just very, very powerful. In terms of I mean, if you feel where things are on planet Earth right now with people's careers, I get it. That thing of having to surrender, that's the story in play. Your own, someone else's you're dealing with, or your career in and of itself, your field perhaps, right? But this is where the power steps up a notch. You have a survival family archetype. There are only 4 survival family archetypes. Everybody has them. I will say that every single time a archetype hits the table because people need to know this stuff. Read Sacred Contract by Carolyn Myss. Hey, just after this video, Go Google it. Get Carolyn Myss, or Google it. Go put it in YouTube, right? Right? Carolyn Myss, Sacred Contracts, and just watch. Oh my goodness gracious. You got the orphan child archetype, which is so incredibly powerful in the 8th chakra. And I'm about to tell you why. Let me read you the basics, right? The shadow attribute. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. Seeking inappropriate surrogate families, been there, done that, have the burnt cape. And I'll explain why cape in a moment. The light attributes, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Any of the children archetypes. In other words, it's an archetype that has sub-patterns within it. We all have our own mix and blend and melange, if you like. But everyone has a child, a saboteur, a victim, and a prostitute archetype, even corporations, even countries, even kitties. Relax, Milky. This is Superman, this is Batman, this is Harry Potter, this is Dorothy Gale, this is pretty much every Disney hero in one way or another, sooner or later, right? That they have to go it alone and they have to follow what? Can this child, the child archetype at its core, regardless of sub-archetype, is about safety and innocence, to see the world with new eyes and move forward into it. The light attribute, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. In the 8th chakra, this is about your spiritual power, because you can't be orphaned by something you are one with. Snap. Arena. No, I will say, with the witch and the slave, this is a very powerful combination, right? So you can think like Harry Potter in the in the closet, right? In the under the stairs, manifesting his power. I mean, it reads that way. We'll say that. Get you rolling. Fuck me and my puns. I can't help it. I have a section of spirit guides I call the Shecky Collective. They just feed them to me all day and all night, much to the detriment of the people around me, but not to me. Okay, we've got a lovely start here. Let's see what's going on the inside. Oh, I'm in. I don't have any placement in any planets in Cancer. Booger. Well, I did call in the goddesses of Cancer, which is mother. So suddenly I've got the mother magnet on. I now see 2 of the 3 black cats around me. Let's see if they form a geometric configuration, shall we? Breathe. Yes, my goddesses of Cancer, Hestia, Hera, Kade, the divine yin, half the universal energy, please. I need 3 cards in clarity. I heard you. Sit back. For this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work, career, vocation, November and December 2020. Please. Yes, I will remember. 1 card, please. They've got the witch in their work, lower 3 chakras. They've got the slave in their heart, throat, third eye, and crown, their interior world, their psychological world, their personal world, and in their crown. Oh, no flippers on these. You want that to come up? I'll be glad to take it, but I don't want to see it until I turn it over. Them's the rules you gave me. Them's the rules I follow. Please, my queen. 1 card in clarity. What's going on inside of them with that orphan child archetype? What is their experience of it in that 8th chakra? Work, career, vocation. This is, I think, I had a feeling when I was shuffling the cards, getting ready for this, clearing everything, that you guys might get the best one of the series early on. Well, yeah. All right. You got the Cancerian card. Namu. I mean, it literally says, I love doing this with the phone because you can see the word right there. It's Cancer, the mermaid, Mother of Cups, the King of Cups in traditional tarot with the witch. Honey, your 4th house magic is high. Look to your emotional wisdom. feel what you're feeling in your root chakra there. Your, not just your root chakra, yes, that is home. That is from physical stable home, but you're a water sign. Second chakra, your one-on-one relationships as well as your tribal relationships, and your own gut, your own intuition is high right now, where it's really helping you navigate physically through the world. Particularly as an empath, you'll be able to sense a little bit more what is yours and what isn't, but we're going to deal with that in the second level of power career. But oh, your intuition can be spot on right now, and your ability to do magic in whatever way you entitle that, but maybe not as people think it is. Please, if it worked like the Aaron spelling tradition on Charmed, I got rhyming couplets up the ass, honey. I would be in a very different place in my life, but the world would probably be in a very different place. Dionysus, run amok. Amok. Immense power here. Immense. Can't wait to see how that looks on the external, because that just sounds like fun. It sounds like we would have fun. We'd have fun hanging out. My Pisces moon. You've got the Seven of Pentacles, appraisal, right? You've got, you're looking at mentally, emotionally, if you like, personally, from your internal world, a real weighing of, right, how far I have come, what I have invested perhaps mentally, emotionally, in terms of my career, my passion, my hunger, and my thirst, and I'm just hamstrung. This is similar, I get that. This is similar to the Hanged Man card in the tarot, except even the Hanged Man does it willingly, right? It's not a punishment thing, it's not a slave thing. But there is something there about you have the ability, the power, the alchemy here is to really maybe even surrender your evaluation of things right now and just be like, okay, well, now, all right, they're redirecting. Sure, have your ledgers clear, right? Like have everything evaluated, right? Sure, mental emotion, get yourself in order, all that kind of stuff. But that the power that you have here is to manifest something that is wild card and divine family. I'm really feeling this in the divine family here, to surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, and you'll be shown what to do. It's not with the witch in your first level of power. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know what to do. It's not a passive surrender. It's saying, use me. It could even be avatarization or aspecting. Yeah, wait till I start teaching that stuff. And you don't have to turn blue the way I do avatarization, apparently. Although the hair may turn purple as it did to mine. This is amazing. This is how I know this is going to work out fine. Right, you got the orphan child there, but you got it with the Six of Flames. Best at play. Oh, this is an empowered orphan child. If I was going to sense another archetype with this, it would be the divine child. So the divine orphan child, please, plenty of divine orphans in mythology, darling. Funny about the immortals, so they can't be killed, and yet, right? You would be orphaned by one parent, right? So to speak, symbolically. But with that card of play, there's creative fire in your 8th chakra, this child, this innocence that is not connected to tribal dictate. And that's got to be tricky for a Cancer, considering the 4th house sense of family, the emotional home, regardless of the physical structure in which you live. But immense journey for you. I mean, really, Dorothy Gale, right? Harry Potter, Kal-El of Krypton, Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker. I could go on, because so can you if you think about it. How many orphans have taken the path of self-esteem and learned to survive? But in your case, coming from a high, 3 levels of intuition: survival, creative, visionary. It's going to be the visionary child in here too as well for you. And that's hot. I do these for clients. I do these for clients. Book me. I'm really easy to book. If you're on Facebook, I'm really easy to book. You contact me through Facebook or email or whatever, how you want to do it. We chat, we pick a time, we pick a date. You can Facebook pay me, or PayPal or Venmo, or whatever, and we just do it. Video chat right there, face to face. I talk to you just like this, except I use a different camera, different setup. You get me this way. All right, let's get down to it. Last three cards down. Mythic Tarot. Julia Sharman Burke. Came across her in my late teens, early 20s, turned everything around, taught me how to read the court cards zodiacally. Breathe. Yes, indeed, my gods of water and the sign of Cancer, please. I need three cards and clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. In their work, there is something throat chakra here going on. I mean, I can be a physical empath. I am a Virgo. Don't know what that's about. You may have to spit it out. Blah, could be. So please, particularly now connecting with the physical aspect of this, my gods, please, three cards in clarity for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work, career, and vocation, November and December 2020. They've got the witch archetype, experiencing it as the Cancerians that they are, lower three chakras. Please, what's that look like on the outside? We've got in their heart, third eye, and crown, the slave archetype with a real surrender. I can feel that throat chakra. Just hand it over, honey. For the highest good and harming none, as you will, so let it be done. But with that appraisal in there, with that really, really looking back, I can feel the weight of that. But with this orphan child archetype, such high power in the crown chakra, that spiritual power of innocence and knowing there is an adventure ahead with that playful energy, please. What do these look like? Career. Vocation. There we go. Sorry that took a while. That took a while. So here we go. We got the witch, Cancerian. It's your sign. With Six of Wands, victory. Now keep in mind, you also have Six of Flames. Same card, but like I said, in this deck it's called play, in this deck it's called victory. Oh, so we have a manifestation. We have a resonant manifestation. 8th chakra, 2, lower 3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I had a feeling you Cancerians, they kind of whispered it in my ear. They're like, Cancerians got the best read. And I don't think so far. I think maybe for the series, you just wrap it after this one. For your career, I have to turn all these things. Okay. Like we said, you got the slave archetype. Could be somebody else too that you're dealing with in your career. As I said, maybe your whole career is going through something, and hence that appraisal that's going on here. But I get a really good feeling about this because on the outside, it's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords in this deck is clearly Aquarius, right? That celestial, near celestial point of view, frozen air, stratospheric, fixed air, seeing it from a higher place. Like, I don't get the shadow side of this, right? Giving your willpower over. I mean, unless this is the authority figure on the outside to which you are giving, and then this is definitely a person, maybe a force, maybe an organization, but Aquarian in its light, it's friendly. It's egalitarian in its light, You know, I find this very, very, very interesting. Personally, I would take the Aquarian route on this in terms of your career, as well as the Cancerian, and play your cards close to your chest. Maybe be a little cold in appearance, a little pulled back for a little bit. You may need to protect yourself if you're really feeling that vulnerability of the shadow as you go through the process of surrendering your will to the divine. I feel like there is immense guidance here for you, and immense wealth in your career, internally as well as externally. You've got that victory card here. By really manifesting your wisdom, right? You know what? It comes down. It's the very first thing I teach when I teach a witch class. Witch class, cycle 1, class 1. What is a witch? What does it mean to you, right? Look at all the billions of different things that mean. I mean, we use it colloquially as an exchange for bitch in more polite situations. It's defamatory, but whatever. I'm over it. too old to do anything other than be the truth of who I am, right? So that's the thing. Can you be the truth? I feel like there's great authenticity here with that Cancerian card in your lower 3 chakras, right? Your work. But there is a struggle internally, and you are weighing it, and you are doing the best you can to appraise the situation. Is this worth continuing on? But the Aquarian card on the outside, that says that this is a bit from a more pulled back thing. So I'm going to say surrender your will to the divine in whatever way, shape, or form you do that. If you can, because we all kind of are forced to eventually. In your 8th chakra, this is where it gets tricky. Yes, we've got this orphan child, right? Like I said, immensely powerful with play, but in the outside, it's the devil card, right? Now, look, I don't do patriarchal devil. This is the god Pan, which you gotta say is playful. I mean, it's the base pleasures in life. Yes, can there be chains and addictions and things that get in the way? Can there be toxicity? Absolutely. But if every tarot is neutral, meaning balanced in its lead and gold, its shadow and its light, then I could see this very much be whatever restraints are on this orphan archetype in an 8th chakra sense. They have to be transcended, or at least experienced from a place where they are alchemized in a way that teaches them how to go it alone in this world. Plugged in. There's something here. Well, okay, got it. Thank you. It's like, but what are your fears of the divine? What are the fears that hold you back from really being a co-creative force in your life? Now you can say, oh, my conditioning, my programming, my emotional baggage, my past life. Do you know what I did in the past life? Oh my God, thanks for that fucker still. I mean, maybe. What's going on in your 8th chakra? It's a mystery. But I would say inner child work. Anytime a child archetype card, just go talk to them. They have a voice. It might very well be for some of you, the inspiration is so there and the willingness, but feel completely alone, doesn't know how to put it together. You're not supposed to in the 8th chakra. It's to allow that child to see it again with fresh eyes. It's innocence, it's safety, right? And maybe it just don't feel safe to play, but it wants to. The energy's there. Like, do you even just daydream? Do you give yourself time to that? I know it seems so frivolous in the times we're in, and yet, where do you think genius comes from? Imagination is a thing. It's the hallway through which the dimensions and inspiration roam from door to door. Oh, dear, dear, dear. So let me put all this together to you. So we've got this orphan child, really playful, but with chains, right? And I get it. I get it from that inspiration, sense of your vocation. I'd be like, I want so much, but I can't. I'm not right now. Or there are fears. And is that the fear of God? Is that, people use that, the fear of God, the fear of God. Well, what is it in you that is afraid of the unity of divine love and oneness? But hence, that's what I'm saying. This is a very interesting dynamic with the slave archetype, right? So that energy, that orphan, some restriction, let's say, there in the 8th chakra. So there is a need to surrender the will to the divine here, as you really do experience on the inside, the analysis, not the analysis of it, the appraisal of it, looking it over, going through it all. And perhaps, at least externally, other people might not let you know that you're going through this. This could be, not so much like the Libra card of the King of Swords, but the Aquarian card, perhaps a bit distant, perhaps a bit cold, but seeing the larger picture. And I think you put these two together. This is what you look like on the outside. This is what's going on the inside. That does make sense. Although, is this someone in your career, an actual person? And don't have to be an Aquarius. It's not how I read. That you are hemorrhaging your willpower to, out of fear of making your own choices. And I feel like, okay, so here's manifesting down now into this makes a lot of sense. If you're an actual witch, that this witch archetype, this power in you about putting wisdom into action and service. To me, witch is a job title more than it is anything even remotely spiritual or religious or mystical. It's like a pointy hat is like a badge, right? Even if you can't say, oh, read Terry Pratchett, just read Terry Pratchett. You'll find out about headology and the Hatful of Sky. Oh, everything I really needed to know about witchcraft I learned from Terry Pratchett, and that's just the truth. And I studied a crap load, but that's what did it for me, right? So it's authentic to you. This is something authentic to who you are. And there's victory in it. There's victory in this, which really does say that this orphan child will find its victory in its calling, and this slave will probably accomplish great things. But they alone do nothing, because we alone do nothing. But with the gods, the angels, the schmangels, call them what you want, anything's possible, particularly in 2020. So may the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that they may use their wisdom, that they may have victory, that they may surrender their will to the divine, and break the chains that bind them in their work, career, and vocation for their well-being, and of course for the well-being of everyone around them, and for the well-being of all in unity consciousness. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you for watching. Look at this click, just give the thumbs up, right? If you want more, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please comment either way. Who are you in this? What is your work, career, vocation? How does that click in, if it indeed does? Otherwise, it just wasn't your reading this time around. You probably clicked off anyway. Anyway, wishing you the best, the very best, and the very blessed of it all in your work, career, vocation, November, December. My Cancerians, my crab cakes, I love you. You're always sweet and a little salty, and that's just how I like it. Hail.